Hello, friends. Good afternoon. Welcome, welcome. I am going to get us started here in just a moment. We're actually
Hi.
hi. We're actually early for once. Well, right. I'm never early. Um, all right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get us going here. Turn my phone on Do Not Disturb so nobody bugs us. I will tell you real quick, my internet is a little bit unstable in my hotel room here. If for some reason I get kicked off, I will get turned right back on. So just stay on the Zoom. It is being recorded. And so I'll just need a moment to get logged back on. But you guys should be able to be kept on there. For some reason, everybody gets logged off, just bounce right back into the session, and we'll continue on using the same link. But hopefully, everything turns out great. So we are here today to learn all about websites. What are your website options through Project X? And this is I now have a list of 20 different things that come with your Project X platform. And so one of the big things I did when I started to build out the Project X platform was I wanted to give you great tools and also save you money. So two things at once, and also at the same time provide an amazing consumer experience. And one of those things that you may be, if you're new to us or if you are already here, I'm even finding out sometimes when I'm in a coaching session with you, we talk about a website and you're spending 50, $100 a month on a website when we've got websites for you for free. And they're really, really good websites. And so I want to roll through today with our different website options, how you set them up, how they could potentially look. We're going to use mine as examples. And as I tell you this, there are things always that you can do better. And that includes myself. There's always things that you can change and adapt and update. And so these are like anything else we have out there. It's what I call a living list. It's a living, breathing project to make your website great. And so we're going to go ahead and get started here. We're going to talk about two different types of websites available to you through Project X. And the way that I've got mine set up, mine work together. And I would like to see you guys consider having yours work together as well. There's an easy button, and that's your Zenlist Zenlink. And then there's a little bit more advanced version where you also link that into your Exit Realty templated website that's provided to you by Exit Realty Corporate. I believe Laura Medina is going to be joining us here in a moment as well. Laura can also help you with setting these up. So between me and Laura, you've got two people that are able to help you here. Laura, of course, is our COO, our Chief Operating Officer. She onboards you at the beginning. She gives you a cheat sheet at the beginning, which includes a little bit more information on your websites. But we know when you're new to us or when you're even getting a refresher from her, she's always available to do a refresher for you. Um, that sometimes there's so many things to do that there's one or two pieces or several pieces that fall by the wayside, or you say, well, I'll come back to that later. And so this may be something that you've said, well, I'll come back and do my website later. But this is a great time if you're a little slow, or even if you've got some time, night or weekend, to get this set up. Um, let's start with kind of the baseline of where my philosophy is on websites in general. Um, you're never going to beat Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, Homes.com in terms of the consumer is going to naturally, in a lot of ways, they're going to know to go to those websites. Yours is going to be like kind of like their second thought, if a thought at all. But there's some things you can do to get your clients off of those portals and into your Zen list because what do we know? In Chicagoland, MRAD, we have the private listing network. You guys hear me talk about it a lot. In some neighborhoods, 20% or more of properties are not on realtor.com, Redfin, Zillow, all those portals, homes.com, none of them have the private listing network. The only way you get access to the private listing network is through Zenlist. So we want to stress to people that, you can go out there and buy. And I'll mention, I won't mention an agent's name, but there's an agent that the other day said to me, well, I'm going to go out and buy a website because I want VOW IDX. And what does VOW IDX means? VOW is a virtual office website, and IDX is that MLS feed so that people can search for properties. I don't do that, and I advise you don't do that. Number one, that's expensive. Number two, what are those websites missing? Every single one of them, and I continue to research vendors, every single one of them does not include the private listing network. So automatically, your Zenlist Zenlink is what? Better than these expensive portals. So don't spend money on an outside portal when you have this stuff here right for free. So, Laura, I'm going to go ahead and mute you just for a moment, but then obviously unmute yourself as we go through these pieces here. And we got a good number of you on, and this is being recorded. So anybody wants to play it again and again over and over, or you've missed this session, it's being recorded. And also the notes will be right there in the video, just like we did with Ask Us Anything yesterday. I'm really going to start to try to lean into those notes. So it's got a great summary of the meeting. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen to start. And hopefully you guys can see my screen now. So what are your website options? So you have two through Project X. Your first big one, and I think your main one, is your Zenlist Zenlink. And so day one, your Zenlist Zenlink is already set up for you, a very basic version of it. But you can do a lot of cool things with that Zenlist Zenlink. So can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
I can see your screen.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you guys. So this is my Zenlist Zenlink, and you can always at any time go and take a look at what my Zenlist Zenlink looks like by going to teamlibert.com. So just teamlibert.com. And you'll see the minute you type in teamlibert.com, it goes, you can see right up in the browser where it goes to my Zenlist Zenlink. You each have a Zenlist Zenlink. And if you don't know what that Zenlist Zenlink is, I'm going to show you how to find it. And also, Laura can also help you find it if for some reason you've never logged into Zenlist before. Shame on you if you haven't. Now let's go ahead and take a look at that Zenlist Zenlink from the inside. So, by the way, you guys all got that article earlier today about mortgage interest rates surging, or I'm sorry, mortgage interest rates dropping and applications surging. So that's a great thing to post to your social media. But I'm going to move past that and get right into the back end of my Zenlist here. And so this is all of what your backlist on your Zenlist will also look like this. Now, you may not have as many clients as me yet in your Zenlist. Hopefully someday soon you will. Remember, you get an unlimited number of client invites in your Zenlist Zenlink, and this is a lifetime portal for them. But we're not talking about that stuff today. We'll talk about more about Zenlist and the rest of the features of Zenlist later this month. Today, we're only talking about websites. I'm going to try to stay focused on the topic at hand, which sometimes is hard for me. So on the left-hand side of your screen, and by the way, this is also available in the Zenlist app. However, when you're setting up your Zenlist Zenlink as one of your websites, it's a little bit easier to do it on a desktop or a laptop because it does lay out better this way. But you still have access on your mobile app, your Zenlist mobile app, to make some of these changes. So what are we going to do? We're going to scroll down here towards the bottom, and we're going to click on Account. And once you've clicked on Account, you're going to hopefully see your picture in there. If not, add your picture. You're going to see all these different settings here. And one of the big ones is the one we're talking about today. That is your Zenlist public profile. So you're going to click on that. And then it's going to say, what is Zenlink? Now you can play the video for yourself later. I will not bore you by playing it now, but it walks you through how to make your Zenlist Zenlink amazing. And what do I say by amazing? Now, I'm not saying mine's amazing, but it is built out pretty well. You can add a video. So I've added in this video about why exit strategy. You can make your own video for consumers. You can have several videos. They need to be from YouTube. So you've got to get a YouTube channel and upload stuff to YouTube. We're not going to talk about that today. But if you've got YouTube videos, you can share those YouTube videos right here. Okay. So you can have videos in there. You can have blog posts. So I've got links and blog posts in there. I've got my professional realtor resume. We were talking about that a little bit yesterday and saying, hey, lean into my resume, lean into Lyle's resume. I have my resume right on my Zenlist Zenlink. And what is my resume? It's literally a Google document that I've made shareable, a Google document that I've made shareable. Anyone with the link can access it. And then I can share that. And by the way, you want to make it shareable, but not editable by others. So you can see my access is everybody else can view it. So they can't change my resume and say hateful things, LOL. But you can say anyone with the link. So you don't want it to be restricted. You want anyone with the link can make that, it's shareable as a viewer. And then you would copy that link. And I'm going to show you where that link would go. You're going to go into your Zenlist public profile, just like I showed you, and see where it says add new section? Ooh, that's where you can add a URL link. So I'm going to click on that, and you can create a title. So the title of mine was Nick's Professional Realtor Resume. And then you would cut and paste that Zenlist Zenlink right there. See where it says add URL link? You would then add that URL link and click on add section. Now, you don't want too many things above in your Zenlist Zenlink. You don't want too many things above this very important section, which is what? Request access. When they click on request access, what happens? They get access to Zenlist through you, right? So when I first started using my Zenlist Zenlink, and by the way, the history of the Zenlist Zenlink, I won't bore you too long with this, but actually I helped Zenlist come up with this technology. I used to use Linktree to do a website for myself. And actually, some of you are using Linktree right now to kind of create a little website. Here's the thing. If you go to coachwithprojectx.com, you'll see a link tree, and it's got all these different buttons on it. But Linktree wants you to pay money to upgrade your account. So there's an expense. It also is not the most user friendly. And then now you've got to do what? Now you've got to work with another outside portal and tool. You don't need a Linktree. Your Zenlist Zenlink is your link tree. So when Zenlist and I started talking about what else could the app be, they said, what is that website you've got? And at that point, teamlibert.com went to a link tree. And I said, well, that's all my items of value. And they said, well, if you've got your Zenlist request access button, and we've got some other features we've added to that, which I'm going to go over in a moment. They said, why don't you combine that all into one? And I said, well, how would that work? They said, well, we're building out so it'll feel like Linktree. So I actually helped them with this. But guess what? As I started to do it, I started to load up all my links right up at the top. So you'd have to scroll through all these other links, like some of the ones that I've got, and I'll show you what some of those are in a minute. They were all up at the top. So for a consumer that didn't care about my resume or didn't care about the rest of the links, all they wanted to do was get into Zenlist, which is where a lot of people want to start. They had to scroll way down and it didn't look right. And so Zenlist actually came back to me. They said, great job building out your Zenlist Zenlink. Can we make a suggestion? I said, yes, please. They said, put the majority of those links beneath this really key important thing, which is right up at the top, which is your request access button. So follow my lead on that. You can always, as you add sections, drag and move them. Okay. You can drag and move them. So you can always click on edit to see what each link is once you've put them up. Because if you're like me, I'm like, well, I don't remember what link is in what order. You can always click on preview and it will preview where all those links are and how it looks. But then you can move these sections around. See where it says drag to reorder sections? So I can move by going over the little hand button. I can move these things. So remember how my resume was at the top and there was the video? You can move them down. If I can make it work right. Of course, it's not
Nick,
working.
so Nick, I have a quick question. I'm sorry. How
That's
did
okay.
you, quick question for you. How did you include your Google reviews and Zillow reviews?
Great question. So let me finish showing you this and then I'll make sure to get right to that question.
Thank
So
you.
you can drag to reorder these, and I've almost got too many links now. So I probably need to move a few around. But once you move them around using this little button up and down, then you can always click on preview before you do that. You can also temporarily take out any link or video or whatever else you put in here by unclicking this little bar on the right. See where the bar on the right is? You can take that out. So remember, that was my resume. Now we click on preview, the resume's gone. So if you've got a link that maybe you're promoting an event or an open house. Now, when I'm really on point, I'll have an open house link or a link to something at the top. And then I'll say, well, I don't want that link up there right now. You can always take this bar up and in and out. And then if you want to delete the link forever, you can click on the trash button. But remember, you can move those links up and down using this little bar, and then you can edit them individually. So we had a great question. How did I get my Google reviews on there? Guess what? They're already there. You just have to activate them. So, how do you do that? I'm glad you asked. So, right in where it says main profile, that's what your main profile is, that Zenlist Zenlink. That's that request access button. That's also, by the way, where you can change your profile picture and see where it says show Google reviews. You can turn that button on or off. Now, if you don't yet have your the first time you're going to do it, you're going to need to add the link to your Google reviews, but that they'll show you how to do that. And then you can change, you can change the button. I wouldn't recommend you do that. You can change the quote text. So mine is, you can cut and paste mine. I think that's actually their standard language. And then you would do what? You would click on save edits. But that's how you add your Google reviews. Now, there's another thing on here where you can add your what? Zillow reviews. So see where it says Zillow reviews and Google reviews? You can add those and you can see where it says search for Zillow profile. That's going to say that the first time you do that. And you can add your Google reviews and your Zillow reviews. And so the first time you do it, you just have to go search for your Zillow profile. They'll help you do that. And so if you don't have a lot of reviews on one or the other, pick your poison. Maybe you get a bad review on one or the other. You can temporarily, you don't have to delete it. You can just temporarily take that piece off. See where it's got that slider, turn it on or off. So you can turn a link on or off, and then obviously get a couple more reviews that are good, and the best ones will show up at the top. But great question. So you can add your Zillow reviews and your Google reviews. They are not doing realtor.com because we know what? Very few people are asking for realtor.com reviews. It's not the number one portal. Zillow is. So people are kind of trained to do Zillow and then potentially Google. So I'm not going to go really heavy into reviews, but that's how you add them. What else do you want to add? You want to add your social accounts. You want to add your social accounts. How do you do that? Well, it's listed right there. Click on edit if you don't have them on there yet, and see you can add your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your TikTok, your Instagram, and your Twitter, aka X. All right. And then again, any of them you don't want on there, you can always take them out. So you've got great options to have all your social media. See where it's going to then show up in this bar? And then all your social media links are right there. So you can see I've got two videos. I've got my actual main link to request access towards the top. If you guys don't know, I have a podcast. Maybe you got a podcast. You can add your podcast link on there. You can always also check out mine. I just actually added another one yesterday, but that's kind of advanced level stuff. I've also got junk like my favorite things on Amazon. You can get your new Tesla through me, just like Tabron did yesterday. I got almost too much stuff on here at this point. I probably need to take a few things off. So, for example, I have Nick's area research on Lakeview. Now, this is a great idea if you're going to update it regularly, but if you don't update it too much. Okay, so I've got old stuff in there. I need to take that out. But you can do RPR content. So that was if you click on, I'll leave that up there for you guys to look at. When I click on that, that is just a simple another Google Drive folder that I've allowed to be shareable, and then people can go in and look at it. So think about that. I just wanted to give you some ideas, some really detailed stuff, but what are the basics? You want to have your resume. If you want to do a resume, you don't even need that. You can get a video in there. You don't even need that. You absolutely need your button that's already built in. That button is automatic to request access. I want your social media feeds up there. I want your Zillow and or Google reviews up there. And then next level stuff, but not too next level, your digital buyer's guide, your digital seller's guide, and potentially your digital realtor's guide. Now, where those come from? Those come from Exit. This is not today a video series on how to do your digital buyer and seller guide, but I will quickly tell you if you do a generic buyer and seller's guide, which by the way, the instructions on how to do that are right in the where living lists. I'm going to show you that real quick. So if you go to bit.ly/living lists, case sensitive, see where it has the roadmap. So this is right here at I'll show you the tabs at the bottom. Let me just move you guys. See where it says roadmap? You click on that tab just like you can on accountability. And you'll see I've got videos on some stuff. How to connect your iPhone to Google Contacts. How to set up some of your integrations, which by the way, Zenlist integrates with Wise Agent, but we're not going to go there right now. We're talking about websites today. And also how to set up your digital presentations. There's a little video for you right there. And in that video, I show you how to do a generic buyer's guide and a generic seller's guide. When they click on this as a consumer on their desktop, laptop, or mobile phone, they get where? What? Your digital buyer's guide and their digital seller's guide. You can even now customize that beautiful presentation to take pages out, add pages, and yes, you can even put a video in your buyer's guide and seller's guide. Why do I love the buyer's guide and seller's side? So, guys, buyers and seller guide, the digital presentation so much. There is a button right in there where they can click on buyer survey and they can fill out their buyer survey, and that goes directly to you and to your Wise Agent, wink, wink, if you've got your integration set up. And you get a notification, and then they obviously have done basically part of their initial buyer or seller consultation with you. It's genius to have those right there because when I say to people, go to teamlibrary.com, you can check out my resume, you can request access to Zenlist, you can get a little bit more of idea on the buyer or seller process. Oh, and by the way, here's the next thing I want you to consider adding to it. Schedule time with Nick, aka schedule time with you. Your Calendly link is a great thing to have right in there. And if you guys, most of you guys know, that's how you set up a coaching session with me. That's how agents can set up an agent opportunity meeting with me. You can do all kinds of stuff that you build out your Calendly. Today is not a session on Calendly, but be thinking that's a really smart thing to add to your Zenlist Zenlink. What else should be on there? I'm glad you asked. Your lifetime client concierge portal, aka your Move Easy, Live Easy link. Remember, you don't call it Move Easy or Live Easy. You call it your lifetime client concierge portal because we don't want people using that name. We just want people to know this is your lifetime client concierge portal. Laura has Laura has the address for you for that. So when you click on it, you have one of these just like I do. And this is for everybody, not just when they're moving. You can see right up at the top, it's nick-libert.moveeasy.com. You have one of those too, just like you have a Zenlist Zenlink. This is all part of Project X, my favorite price, free 99. You just have to pay your portal fee of 250 bucks. And these are lifetime apps for your consumers, both Zenlist and your Live Easy, Move Easy button. What else can you have on there? So we talked about Calendly. You can have a link to our free Cook County property tax review, which is that's straight off of our Exit Strategy Moves You website. If you've got something you're passionate about, or maybe like you've got an Amazon link, if you go on my Amazon, my next favorite things on Amazon, it'll give you my book list. It'll give you other things like there's one of my books that I like to read. It's Kendra Cook's book, all this other junk that I've got that I think is cool. Maybe you sell Avon or something. I don't care if you have a couple extra links on there that's part of your side hustle. I'm not going to be mad at you. I just think that your real estate stuff should be right up at the top, and obviously keep anything else you're doing, just like on your social media, somewhat professional and always legal and ethical. Okay, what else could you put on there? Hope you're getting at least a giggle or two out of this. So find your property's value. That's a free instant report. Where does that go? How can you get one of those? That's Cloud CMA, guys. This is not a Cloud CMA class today. However, for those of you guys that have been through my Cloud CMA training, you know that you can have and Marky teaches this too. That's actually how I learned how to do it, you can have a What's My Home Worth button right there. Then you'll see if you scroll down, and again, I think I got too much stuff on here, 24-month stats. You can turn these off if you don't want them on here. I love having them on there because I can say, look, guys, I sell everywhere. And I sell in the last 24 months, I've had 73 closed deals, $25 million in volume, which normally it's closer to 35, but I've been busy with you guys and I'm happy to be busy with you guys. It'll give them a price range. So I can say, look, I've sold $40 million pieces of what? I sold a $3.7 million house. So average price point 542. Again, you can turn these on and off, but it's really cool for most of us. If you're newer, you may want to turn that off. Again, there's my Google reviews. I've also got my digital business card link on here, which I think at this point is almost repetitive. You don't need your digital business card. This is your digital business card. All right. But I got a link on there. Contact information, and then my listings, which again, you can turn this on and off. Look at this. What's for rent that I've got up there? What's for sale? What have I done seller deals wise? And what have I done buyer deals wise in the last 24 months? This is kind of fun because look at this. It's like, he's everywhere. And you may be everywhere. Maybe you're focused in one area, but kind of cool stuff. Oh, wait, there's an About Me section. This should look familiar for any of you that have done a bio with me. There's my 3-paragraph bio, which I probably need to update mine. How do you get your bio on there? Maybe you don't need a full resume. You just want your bio on there. Well, you cut and paste it from your Exit Resource Center bio or your LinkedIn bio if you've done it correctly, because I tell you to put them everywhere. So you can see there's all these different links. There's that 24-month stack. Right there, they've got a link already ready for you called bio. You can add in your fun facts. I chose not to. But really, really cool stuff all right there in your Zenlist Zenlink. So what you can do, you can literally today go out and buy a domain name and have it forwarded to this, like I have teamlibert.com. Or, and this is part of the reason why Laura's on with us, and she can help you with this part, or you can have your domain name go to your Exit Realty beautiful templated website that I'm going to show you in just a moment. And then within that templated website, have a link at the top to your Zenlist Zenlink. I'm going to show you why that's kind of cool to have it done that way. So if you go to nickliebert.com, and by the way, you guys do not, oh, great. I have to go fix this. Hold on. um, if you go to nickliebert.com normally, and I'll show you what it looks like from the inside in a second because I was playing with this earlier. Um, you do not need two websites. Please do not buy two domain names. Buy one. You go to GoDaddy.com, and again, Laura can help you. You go buy one domain name. I like just having my name. NickLiber.com. I've had the same domain name since 1998. I only got TeamLiber.com because I was trying to figure out, do I want to have the Zenlist Zenlink separately? I chose eventually. It was kind of too late for me. I had two websites. It's a waste and it's very confusing for the consumer. People all the time like, well, do I go to Nick Library or Team Library? Buy one. And let's talk about domain names for just a second. Pick one and stick with it. It doesn't have to, it actually should not have Exit Realty in there. It should be your name. It could be Edna Sells Properties. You can get creative with it. You can have your name in it. It can have something about real estate in it. Um, it can't have the word realty in it. Remember, that's IDFPR stuff. It's got to be pretty basic. I'm more than happy to if you want to bounce a couple different name ideas off me, but you just need to go to GoDaddy.com first and see if they are available. I'm going to come back to GoDaddy as a conversation here in a little bit, but I want to go into the Exit Resource Center so you can see what these templated websites look like. Okay. Before I do that, does anyone have any questions so far about what we've already talked about in terms of Zenlist, Zenlink? I haven't been checking the chat.
And you bring up a good point as far as additions to your Zen list. If you're doing things like home inspections or something of that nature, and Mo, you can support me on this one, that would be a great place to do something. Put a nice little link to, well, you called it a side hustle. We now have people on staff who can support every part of the transaction. It seems like we got strategic title, we have photographer, we have home. This we're putting all the pieces together.
So, and that's something that, if you want to, and this is, I'm working on mine right now. My value proposition needs to be in a document, aka Project X. I want to lay out all 20 things, or probably be more than 20 by the time I'm done with them.
Right.
If you got a special value proposition, maybe you're passionate about a hobby, something like that. Build it out in your Zenlist Zenlink. Make a video about it or something. I actually probably gonna have a video about Tesla in the next 48 hours about, hey, here's why I'm sticking with this brand. Here's why I love the EV movement. You may be passionate about gardening. I don't care what your other interests are. You can build out your Zenlist Zenlink the same way I tell you, if you in your Wise Agent CRM, I don't care if there's some other stuff that you're emailing out. I'm not, as long as it's legal and ethical, use your tools. We all got stories, we all got interests. Okay. Now let's go into your exitrealty.com. And this is where your templated websites live from Exit Realty Corporate. And again, these are free 99. So go into exitrealty.com. And this is one that, you've got the Exit Realty Connect app that basically is the Exit Resource Center on steroids on your app, but it's really hard to adjust those websites through the Exit Realty Connect app. You can do almost anything else within Exit Realty on that app, but this is one thing that's really hard to do. So on your desktop or laptop, when you go to exitrealty.com and sign in as an associate, you click on the marketing tab, and then you'll see you got all these different cool things you can set up. Presentations are right there, but what else? A very unclicked button called websites.
So Nick, tell me what's in websites.
Huh.
I'm glad I asked.
I'm glad you asked. Now, as the fates would have it, we may have to have a second part to this video. I'm going to kill Kinley, the tech guy. I actually texted him earlier today, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm going to be doing a demo later." Of course, during this 30-minute window when I'm talking about the Exit Realty websites, they've decided to do some sort of upgrade as I'm doing this demo. So, if this is like this in 5 minutes, because we'll go into GoDaddy, if this is still like this in 5 minutes, we will have a part two to this video of the Exit Realty website and how that connects to your Zenlist. But let's go into, while hopefully that is the lovely tech team is doing whatever they're doing in there. Let's go into GoDaddy and talk about GoDaddy for a second.
Can,
So,
can I ask a quick question? I'm sorry, this is Mo.
oh, absolutely, Mo. Yes, sir.
So the website, so the website, what's it based off of? Is it based off of a CMS, like WordPress, or is it like a static website?
So you mean, well, so my first question would be which website? Because Zenlist Zenlink is the Zenlist Zenlink is its own animal. It's not a WordPress or anything like that. It is Zenlist Zenlink is a Zenlist product. But so I think you might be asking, so the exit templated websites,
Yeah.
that is through so that's an Exit Realty technology. So for some of you guys, by the way, you may have a WordPress site. And if you've got a WordPress site, you can actually have that WordPress site as a link to your Zenlist Zenlink. So if you've already there are some people that they blog and they've been building out a blog for many years. You can have one of your links right in your Zenlist Zenlink can go to your blog. It's a great question for those of you guys that may already have a WordPress. Um, I don't know if you guys are paying for WordPress. I paid for a WordPress upgrade last year because it's free, but then to get some of the features of WordPress, you got to pay. They just jacked the prices up, and mine's now going to be like $425 this year. Guess who's not going to have a WordPress blog anymore? Me. You can blog right within your Exit Realty templated website, which is another really cool thing if you are a blogger. So that's something that I really liked when Exit Realty launched these upgraded websites a couple years ago, is that if you want to geek out and build this thing out, you can have 18,000 pages. They don't have any limit on the number of pages you can have. For SEO, search engine optimization, it's great to have a bunch of pages. For a lot of us now, though, my struggle is I don't have time to blog very much anymore. So my website, my nickliebert.com, my non-Zenlist Zenlink, my main exit website, guess what? It's got a whole bunch of old blogs from 2021, and there's nothing recently. That's the danger of having something that you've got to regularly continue to refresh and update. I've got a friend that has a beautiful WordPress blog that they got busy the last year and a half. So the last entry is from 2023. I'm like, it looks like you're out of business, my friend. Stop, don't promote something that's not got fresh and nice stuff on it. Your Zenlist Zenlink is static. Actually, no, I think Mo knows a lot about websites. Your Zenlist Zenlink is static. So there's really nothing on the Zenlist Zenlink that's going to be changing unless you change it, with the exception of your reviews, because those are obviously that's a live link that gets changed as they change. And then also your sales activity. And then also your listings, because it's got your listings. It's feeding from the MLS right there. So that's live stuff that will be updated through the MLS. So that's a great question, but it's static other than that. So the nice thing is it is set it and forget it. And then when you want to change it, make it fresh, you can. I'm encouraging people that, minimize the amount of time that you've got to be doing stuff that it's hard for you to update. That's why I love RoomView, is because RoomView's posting content for me on all my social media feeds. So when someone goes and clicks on, for example, LinkedIn, they're seeing videos and stuff that I'm not having to do, because I used to do all kinds of cool blogging. If you go into my activity on LinkedIn, I used to have all kinds of stuff that I do blogging wise. So I used to have actually, if you go under articles, look at this. I used to do all kinds of blogging. Guess what? My last blog post was in 2022. So for a lot of us, be careful and manage your time. I'm not going to go into blogging today because again, I think for a lot of us, the time that you would spend blogging, I think you should be in your CRM communicating with people, making sure that they you've been reaching out to them in general. I don't think blogging right now is the best thing to be doing, unless you've really got a time block calendar and you've carved out time for that. Okay, let's go into GoDaddy. So, what is GoDaddy? That is where you buy a domain name, and then you can also get email forwarding. You can buy email forwarding on top of that. My recommendation again is keep it simple. Keep it simple, sir or ma'am. Keep it simple, sweetie, because we're not stupid. But keep it simple. I like your domain. I like your name. Your name's never going to change. I've had nickliber.com because quite frankly, I also used it at one point when I was running for office, when I've done other stuff. I've always had it could be multi-purpose. You could have links to multiple things on there. You get, Edna sells homes. Well, doesn't Edna also sell apartment buildings and Edna sells condos? It gets a little dangerous. Or if you say Edna sells Chicago, you may remember our original website was exitsellschicago.com. Well, guess what? Then we got our first agent in the suburbs, and they're like, I don't like that website domain. So now it's exitstrategymovesyou.com because we didn't even want to say Chicagoland because now we're in Indiana. So be careful pigeonholing your name, pigeonhole yourself with a name that's not going to always fit because I think you're going to always want to do multiple things, even just within real estate. As far as a .com or .co or .info, I don't care. Tabron just bought a domain name and he's got .co because the one that he wanted on .com was no longer available. I would have loved to have had Libert.com. I've tried to get it multiple times. Guess what? It's not available. Domain taken. Don't do a broker service fee. It is a ripoff. Just find a better domain name or a different ending to it. Co is fine, info is fine, although I do really like if you can find something with .com or maybe .co, it's great. The only danger with .co, and I learned this when Sam at RoomView launched roomview.co, is that then your email, number one, people are like, co or com? It's co, dum dum. But then your associated email address, if you've ever emailed RoomView, support at roomview.com, guess what? That goes nowhere because it's support at roomview.co. So when you're thinking .com or .co, I don't care, except just be, that's the one thing I'll say about the .com versus .co. .info is fine. It's not as sexy. There are the National Association of Realtors would love to sell you .realtor for an expensive price. You don't need it. But you can go in and search for any domain name. So if I was going to say, for example, Fatima sells real estate.com. Now I will bet you that one's gone. It's not telling me whether it's gone or not. Oh, look. Okay, guys. So can you see my screen still? So of course they're trying to sell you real estate for 139 bucks a year. They've got some other options for you as well. So Fatima sells real estate online, 99 cents for the first year. Be warned, when they are 99 cents for the first year, make sure you know what they're going to be the next year. So when I was getting into the EV movement, I bought libertsocean.com and I thought I was real slick on that because the first year was like, I don't know what it was, like 99 cents. And then the second year, they tried to bill me for $89. I'm like, oh, I'm not paying that. So just make sure when you buy it that you can afford year two. Maybe not. Fatima sells real estate. Sucks. I don't know why they want to sell you that for $100 and then next year have it 490 to 400. I don't know. GoDaddy is a strange animal. Most of the time, you're able to get whatever domain name for 12 bucks, 14 bucks, 29 bucks a year. Just go ahead and run with it and grab whatever domain name you can get. Where does that then forward to? Okay, you can keep it simple for now and have it forwarded to your Zenlist Zenlink. And then later on, you can move it over to your Exit Realty templated website, which you've got to request through exitrealty.com. And again, Laura can help you with that. You've got to request that they're cool with the domain name. So again, if Fatima did choose the Fatima sells real estate sucks, I don't think corporate's going to love that, so they'd probably send it back. They really, I think they've rejected one domain name in how many years have I been with them? Well, I think they've rejected one, and everything else they're cool with. If you don't want to go through the process of anything with corporate, you just want to, hey, I just want to forward that sucker to my Zenlist Zenlink. You don't have to go through all of that running around and waiting for them. They get back to you within 24 hours, and it's actually they'll claim that they're checking it with me. I have it on default that I don't I approve everything they do. So it's a quick turnaround. But some people are like, I don't care about that. I just want to get it and set it. You can always move a domain name where it forwards to later. You can always choose, you can always move where it forwards to later. So again, I would recommend if you're in a hurry, you just want to get this done, buy the domain name and have it forwarded to your Zenlist Zenlink. But later on, you may want to get it to go to your Exit Realty templated website. Now, again, we are 45 minutes in, and I'm going to open it up for questions here in a second, but I want to see if they're done doing whatever they're doing with the back end of here so I can get this into our website tab. Nope, they are still working on it. So we will have a follow-up second video to this that will have the how to do the Exit Realty templated website because it's really cool. But I've got to be able to show you what mine looks like and how to you can change the templates around. And unfortunately, I can't do that while they're doing
Oh,
this.
look at this dog.
Hello.
Oh.
Well, you can do this on the. I've got to have that working for me to do the demo with you. So let's go ahead and open it up for questions about what we've gotten through so far. And I'll keep that tab open just in case magically it's fixed here in the next couple minutes. What questions do you guys have? I'm going to look in the chat as well. I'm just going to use my first name. Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yes. So I don't think, sadly, the way my life is going, I don't think Libert's going to change anytime soon or be hyphenated. But for those of you guys that have, Mieta's going to maybe have a little change to her last name. Think about that. If you are maybe single and you're going to be engaged soon or something like that, something's going on, or they're already engaged, you may want to avoid that last name. So that's a great comment. I would be really nice that you don't ever have to change your domain name. So that's why I always tell people, oh, thank you, Tabron, for your comments as well. I always tell people, try not to ever change your domain name. I have a friend that they really were tied into the idea that they were going to be the loft king. Yeah, I've sold some lofts. You're not only going to sell lofts. And later on, they realized that, and all of like 10 years of branding had to go out the window. So have something that you think is going to live on with you. And again, I love doing this stuff. I love marketing. So, schedule a one-on-one with me to talk through domain names if you want to. 2 years for a GoDaddy site, Laura says usually is under 25 bucks. So again, that's like 12 bucks a year. It used to be $9 a year. One other thing I want to talk to you guys about that may raise some more questions is let's talk about email addresses. Now, this is websites. Why am I talking about email addresses? Oh God, Nick's off track. No, I'm not. Not yet. Your email address, in my opinion, should be, first of all, you should be using Gmail. I'm sorry for those of you guys that are not. There's very few of you that are not anymore. Gmail, number one, syncs right up into your Wise Agent. and it number one has better email servers and email service and filters and blah 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 than anywhere else. But number two, you can do a lot with that email signature, and you can cloak your email address to have it, like, for example, you got an email from me this morning, right? Where did it come from? nick@nickliebert.com. Guys, that's coming from my Gmail account. All I did was when I went and reserved my GoDaddy domain name, I also did what? I also registered for the website for the email forwarding. That used to be free 99, but of course, like everything else out there now, they want extra money for that. But I would go ahead and do that, because then what's going to happen is, hold on, I got to put in this lovely 6-digit code to get in my GoDaddy. One moment.
And I got as soon as he's done, I got some information about emails into Gmail.
Okay, awesome. Good. So when you do go ahead and get your domain name, and you can, again, you can always add this later. You can, great comment. Someone just said, please select a reminder to renew, because if you forget, someone is going to buy it and try to charge you a lot of money to get it back. Sounds like you may have experience with that. One genius moment, I almost lost nickliebert.com, and I've used it so long that the value on it now is like $2,000, which is ridiculous. I don't think I'm worth $2,000 some days. Someone could steal it from you. I actually have been trying to steal liebert.com from this. I don't know. I think I'm actually related to these people, these guys that have a printing company that's now closed in Pennsylvania. But if you let it expire, someone, and sometimes I think it's GoDaddy, grabbing it so then they can broker it out to somebody else, they can be real jerks. That's a great comment, actually. But once you go in and you register your domain name, you can add that email forwarding. So you can go into manage my products, and then you can go in there and forward that email address. You only need one. You only need one email address, okay? And that's probably going to be great to have. And mine is nick@nickliebert.com. I'm gonna pick on Fatima again. Fatima sellsrealestate.com, or whatever you choose your domain name. I think that's easiest, is just have it be your first name at your domain name, and then have that forwarded to your Gmail. Okay. Now, we had a question or a comment about the Gmail email situations.
Yeah, it's Mo again. I'm sorry.
No, don't.
Um,
This is why we're here.
well, on the website side, I would warn one thing. If you plan on building your own website through GoDaddy, web hosting is extra. You do not get web hosting. You get a basic website, but then they'll try and upsell you. There is ways around it. If anyone wants to build a website, just drop me an email or something, because I know the meeting is short. But the second one about the emails, I know like Nick is doing email forwarding. My personal email, mo@dola.us, is actually a Gmail account. So what I've done is I've purchased a Gmail subscription through Google, and I have a full Gmail or a Google Workspace account. So my calendar, my email, everything shows as mo@dola.us. There's multiple ways to do it. It's whatever is easiest for everyone. If you guys do the mail forwarding, that's simple. If you guys just want to keep it, just want it straightforward, and just have a Google Workspace account, that's also an option too. Just when you go into GoDaddy, be careful. Do not mess with the DNS settings.
Yep. I can tell you that from experience. Don't mess with the DNS settings. So that brings up so Mo, thank you for that. I want to talk about a couple things related to that. Number one, keep it cheap. So if you've got like, Mo, I actually might want to talk to you offline. I'm debating something with the Google Workspace. But Google Workspace is expensive. You don't need that to start out. You may later need it. Maybe you're running out of space. Maybe you want some added features. I don't have it. I am cheap. However, Mo brought up a really good point about web hosting. You do not need, number one, GoDaddy's going to tell you, oh, we can build out a website for you, or you can host your website here. You don't want to do that. If you want to build out a website, you want to, in my opinion, go first and go try to do it or do it through exitrealty.com and the websites. And again, we've talked so much today that we're almost at the hour mark that I think we do need a separate session because that's going to probably go at least 30 minutes on how to build out your Exit Realty website. So if you guys are down for that to have a second separate section or separate video. So for those of you guys that are watching this later, just know we're going to have another session that's separate on how can you build out your Exit Realty website because Mo, I've got mine built out where I've got a blog, I've got all these different sections on mine, which I can't show you at the moment because they're doing the work on the back end. And you can change templates. There's 8,000 things you can do with those website templates, and they are hosted by Exit for free. So that's my opinion, but do not, Mo and I are definitely in alignment. Don't let GoDaddy try to tell you that they'll host it for you because then they're going to want money. And here's what you can control. I'm paying your Zenlist bill. Gmail is free, and Exit template websites are free. So that's all part of what you're paying to be a part of this company for. That's all. They're not going to ever charge you for that. GoDaddy, the prices keep going up. So great point on that. And then again, once you buy your domain name, yes, keep it where it will notify you when it's up for renewal. You can also have it automatically charge or, have an automatic renewal. However, if you're like me, I lose a debit card, I change credit cards. If it will send you an email, but you may miss it if that payment doesn't go through because you've changed cards, your card expired. It's smart to just have it notify you in general. Hey, this one's going to expire soon. So you can also just put it in your calendar that you've got to go renew it. If you've registered it for a year, you can just go in and say, okay, for example, let's go into mine and see, look, they've already got your trial in it, upgrade for premium features. I didn't even do anything in there. They're always trying to get more money from you. So it'll go, it will tell you when these are up for renewal right in there. Of course, there we go. So see, look at this. They're trying to get you $9 a month. Don't spend the money. $20. You don't need any of this stuff. It is free to just, once you buy the domain name, have the domain name. And then if you want to do cheap email, they can do the cheap email forwarding for you. Okay. Who else has questions or comments or ideas? I really love that you guys have had some great ideas to add to this too. I'm gonna check the chat again as well. All right, I'm going to check one more time just in case that the website features are back. But again, I know this has been a long hour. Yep, so they're still working on the back end. So to kind of summarize where we are right now is that we have determined that you can buy a domain name. If you don't have the money for a domain name right now, you don't need one. A lot of you, some of you guys are number one on a budget. Number two, you've just rocked with the Zenlist Zenlink from the beginning. You've got it in your email signature. You've got it on your, it should be everywhere anyway. It should be everywhere anyway. Your Zenlist Zenlink should be everywhere. Okay. And you should be talking about it constantly. Even if you haven't built it out, the most basic Zenlist Zenlink is still great. And actually, there may be somebody on here that's newer. Laura, since you're on with us, do you know somebody that's like they're newer, so they probably just have the basic, like maybe somebody's first and last name that you've just onboarded?
Me.
I was gonna say, Mo, you're so new. It's probably not. I'm not even sure if it's live yet.
I,
I'm gonna
I,
click.
I, I don't think, no, Mo doesn't. Mo got his website activated today and I connected to Zenlist, but he does not have a personal domain name. I can't think of anybody that just got their first and last name done.
Okay, so look at this, guys. Eliza. Eliza has hers. Now she did get a couple. She's got a couple things up there, so she's not all the way new. But pretty basic still so far. She's going to build this out over time. So look, she's got her headshot, she's got request access, she's got her contact information, and I'm not sure what that link is, but we'll find out someday. I'm not going to click on it right now. She's got her social media, she's got a fun fact. I don't even have a fun fact, and she's got a calendar. All right, Eliza, I'm impressed. So this is a new agent that's just pure fresh. Same way with Mo. They're ready to go, guys. So then you can just build them out over time. And if you again want to go to teamlibert.com, you can see someone that's all the way built out. Now, there is one other person in Chicago that has done a full build out on theirs. You may know who it is. It is the number one agent in Chicago, the other big proponent of Zenlist, Matt Laracy. So Matt Laracy has also built his out. You can go Google Matt Laracy, and his Zenlist Zenlink is all over everywhere. And he's also built his out with multiple videos, etc. He doesn't have the cool stuff like a buyer's guide and seller's guide, but there's another person that's using it to the max. And if the number one agent is using it to the max, I think maybe you should too. All right, guys, I actually have a 1:15, I think, with one of you guys as a coaching session. So we will have a second separate session on the exit websites. And here's what I'll do. In that session, I will also go over the other big thing in the marketing tab in exitrealty.com, presentations, because I think those go hand in hand. Your website and your digital presentations, I think those go hand in hand myself, because I think in addition to having the private listing network, Zenlist, having your digital presentations, it's a one-stop shop for buyers and sellers. Because by the way, every seller should also be on your Zenlist. Every seller should also be on your Zenlist. All right, guys, thank you very much for being here. I don't see any other questions in the chat. We will get this recording out to you, and we will have a follow-up session as well on the Exit Resource Center pieces of this, and a lot more training to come. However, get your Zenlist piece up and running great this week. Get that website worked out. Next week, we're going to be focusing heavily on Wise Agent, because you're going to get your newsletters out, and then we can come back to some more of this fun stuff. Have a great balance of your day. I appreciate you guys being here, and this session has been recorded and will be posted to the coaching blog. Bye-bye.